Yeah, back again, ladies and gentlemen. Hot 97, real late. My man Masta Killa has a new album right now called Loyalty is Royalty.
Yes, sir.
Masta Killa is in the building on Hot 97. How are you, man?
I'm great. I'm great. Life is good.
You still rocking with noodles? We still doing this?
Oh, yeah, man.
Noodles.
Got to.
Where did that come from? Why noodles?
That's the Cuban link era.
Yeah, why that name, though?
It was given to me.
And you were cool with it?
I have a problem with it.
Did you understand what the hell it meant exactly, though?
Well, I know it came. I think it came from the classic Robert De Niro movie, the Once Upon a Time in America.
Ah,
you know what I mean. So we all just got in the Cuban link mode and just went in.
Let's see that album in Cuban link mode. We're talking about '95. You guys were making it '95-ish. That's 22 years ago.
Woo.
So you guys are in your 20s. You're just. I mean,
I'm still in my 20s.
And you're still in your 20s. You look tremendous. When did you were the last member technically to join Wu Tang, right?
Well, I was always there. It was never really a joining process.
Yeah, I guess there was.
You know what I mean?
I know. Fans are always like, how did you join?
Yeah, well, it wasn't a jumped in process.
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean? But I was blessed enough to, be lyrically gifted enough to make that squad.
What was the first record you were on?
Mystery of Chess Boxing. First rhyme I ever wrote.
Really?
First rhyme I ever wrote. Took it to the Jizza to get his approval and his opinion. And when he told me I had something, I took it serious,
And at that point, how did the friendship start? Let's start there. How did your friendship, who was the other members that I'm always curious, because everyone came from different angles to come together. What was your foray?
I came from the Brooklyn Chamber. You know what I mean? I came from the Brooklyn Chamber. I met Jizza actually through my brother True Mass,
True Master, all right.
True Master, legendary producer. And when me and Jizza, when we met, we just clicked, man. We just clicked right off the top. You know what I mean? And it was everything actually other than music. It was chess. You know what I mean? It was mathematics. It was building. You know what I mean? And music was actually last because most of our days are chess days. That's my chess partner. You know what I mean? And
Still to this day?
Still to this day. We'll play 72 games in one day.
Come on.
I'm serious.
I'm guessing you're smoking while you're doing this as well, right?
Oh, we're chilling, man.
Okay, so it's an entire day of chilling.
Yeah, just chilling, man. And mind you, there's different ways to play. So we play on the clock. So the games are not.
How long's the game then if you clock it?
6 minutes. Three for him, 3 for me.
That's it.
That's it. So within those 6 minutes, one of us has to win. Or if your time runs out, game is over for the person that time is run out on.
How do people view timed chess versus like an open-ended game? Like how is that seen by someone who's very into chess? Is one more respected than the other?
Well, one is just on the clock, and you have to.
It's just a different way of thinking.
Speedy. You have speed chess. You know what I mean? You have to think fast. You know what I mean?
That's so interesting. Okay, so and you guys. So at what age did you guys start getting into to chess?
Oh man, I mean, chess was introduced to me at a very young age. I had to grow into the patience of chess. I was more into checkers because checkers is a fast pace. Even though checkers, you have to be, you have to have strategy and it's a very strategic game as well.
Yeah, it's funny. People belittle chess. I mean checkers. They go, "Oh, this ain't chess. This ain't chess. It's checkers."
Yeah, I mean, you have to respect checker players as well.
Okay,
you know what I mean. It's just a faster paced game.
Okay.
Chess is more of a. Now you have to slow down a little bit and understand what each piece does. You know what I mean? Each piece has a different function.
Why did Jizza get into chess? Why did that start as a thing in the first place?
Because I was beating him up.
And he was like, we need to do something else. This isn't working. But it is an interesting game for young dudes to play.
Right.
I mean, it is random.
I mean, it teaches you, it's a beautiful game of patience. It teaches you to think first before you move or before you speak. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth. You should listen twice before you speak once, It gives you jewels of life that's very valuable and could be used in life. You know what I mean?
According to your discography, They have chess boxing first, so that's right.
Right.
Followed by Snakes on Old Dirty's album.
That's correct.
Followed by this little classic right here. Are you part of this intro to this record too? Or were you there for that too, or no?
Well, I was there for everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
You're not talking on this though.
no, I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking.
It's just Ghost telling a story about
Yes.
wallabies.
Yes. Yes.
This
Yes.
right here.
Classic skit
And
right
this,
there.
you know what I'm saying?
We
Any
might
color
have-
you want,
I'm not
but
even-
it'd be like blue
Yeah.
cream. You know what I'm
That was a
saying?
beautiful time right
This
there.
shit like that, nigga don't even know some word is born. I'm a rock to get to summer. On the real. You know what I'm saying? Yo, son, I had crazy visions. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Boom. Just imagine if you buy, woo, check it out. Just imagine you bought navy blue, right? A navy blue.
You hear the Hot 97 drop in the background, like the radio's on.
But Doc, get this Doc cream
Oh,
on
yeah.
top.
Oh, yeah.
Just imagine that color.
This is,
Holy
this is the
no.
third one. This is the third
Yes,
appearance.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go through your verse here for a second. Ray's first. Here we go.
Proceed with caution as you enter the symphony. Degrees of punishment increase intensely. Syndrome was caused by the deadly drums, but the battle was won by swords being swung. Slicing with a vocal from the international vocalist. Your style is too local to with this.
How are you? This is the first rhyme. These are the first rhymes you're ever writing in life.
First rhymes I've ever written in my life.
So you don't have like a huge notebook.
I don't have any notebook.
Each song is just what you've written for that song.
Exactly.
Because that rhyme you hit right there, the international vocalist, the style is too locoed up with this.
Right.
So that's pretty complex rhyme schemes for someone who's making this up.
Right, but at the same time, I wasn't a local person. I mean, you know, hip hop didn't. You know, I didn't start traveling being in the hip hop industry. You know, I was already, you know,
Moving around?
Yeah, moving around,
Doing what?
traveling. You know, my mother kept me, you know, traveling and going different places, and I was blessed to see different, you know, places. One of them at as a matter of fact, my brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico are going through it now. But I was, you know, able to, you know, travel and go to Puerto Rico maybe at the age of 10 or 11. You know what I mean? Florida and Texas and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So I was always traveling and moving around. And
So did that make your, where exactly in Brooklyn were you from?
Brooklyn, East New York, Bed-Stuy, everywhere. I lived all around Brooklyn.
So is that, was that an unusual experience, you know, compared to the kids around you, that you're jumping on planes and traveling with your mom as a kid?
Definitely, and it was experiences that I never shared, because you would be like a misfit, like you're the nail sticking up. You know what I mean? It's like those experiences. You know, you don't want to come back and seem like you're rubbing it in your friend's face. You know, some of my friends probably never been on a plane before. You know what I mean? So you don't want to come back and share those experiences with your friends, and you know their condition. You know, I was blessed. You know what I mean? I had a mother that wanted me to see other things in life besides just the street corner. You know?
Well, did your mom always have a pretty good job and was able to make those things happen?
She had a decent job. She was a hardworking woman.
How many siblings did you have?
I was her only child.
Got it. So the two of you could just move around together.
Right. I was her only child. I had other brothers. My father, you know, my father's a Rolling Stone.
Okay, got it. But you only live with you and your mom.
Correct.
So as a result, when your mom wanted to go away, it was just the two of, she just had to pay for the two of you to go away.
Exactly.
And at what age did you meet the Jizza?
Wow. I want to say maybe 2021.
So he was already on.
Yeah, he was already on. He was
a Coachella.
And yeah, he already did his thing at Coachella, and I had no knowledge of that. You know,
You didn't even know Past the Bone.
I didn't even know Past the Bone. You know, I didn't know I didn't know any of that. You know, like I said, I actually met him through True Master. You know what I mean? And Jizza, man, you know, I learned a lot from my brother Jizza. And you know, he would, like I said, he would never, you know, he wasn't one of those MCs that, you know, wants to rhyme all the time for you and display his rhyme techniques and saying rhymes. And, you know, he was always so cool with it. You know, we'd be together, and I remember people coming up to him, and I guess they knew who we were, and they would want to battle him and stuff like that.
That was the era of you might just want to show up and battle someone on the spot.
Yeah, and he would listen to these brothers, kick their rhymes, but he would never say anything. So one day I asked him, like, yo, what is this all about? Why these people keep approaching you? You know what I mean? Because I had no idea that he was already on, to that degree. You know what I mean? People knew him. He had a video. He was doing his thing, Coachella, and yeah, I learned a lot from the brother, man. You know what I mean?
And so he started, and how early did you meet Old Dirty?
All around the same time, like one after the other. It was like a domino.
What was Dirty like in those days?
Free spirited, you know what I mean?
Always the wild dude, always that guy?
I mean, I would say free, not always wild.
Okay.
But wild to the point of outside of the box thinking.
Got it.
Not boxed in. I'm free. I'm a free
But not
spirit.
but also not the version of him
Never
that we came to know later when he was at that point doing drugs a lot of the time and appeared to be wildin'. It wasn't that. He was just a free spirit.
Right.
And always had a special energy, I'm guessing.
Always had a special energy. Especially when it came to music. I mean, oh man, I miss some. Like I remember when I came to Jizza with my thoughts on paper as far as chess boxing, and I remember him coming to Jizza's house that day, and I also let him read my thoughts. You know what I mean? He was like, "You wrote this?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "But you gotta know how to say it. You gotta say it with attitude, and you gotta get that." You know what I mean? Because he had that aura in him. You know what I mean? And that was one thing, about him when, he was a special brother when it came to this music, man.
He got busy on that one, too, on chess boxing.
Oh, yeah.
Represent.
You hear his energy.
Yeah.
That's what he was trying to convey to me, you know what I mean, and wanted me to get, be more of that, you know what I mean?
Well, he was the ultimate vessel. He allowed, to me, a lot of times, I love really lyrical rappers, and I love people who just feel the energy also. And the best, I think, are the people who do both, right?
Right.
I think that's probably why I'm known as such a Kendrick fan. It's because he's both lyrical,
yes,
but he never, he listened to the beat. He felt the music when he allows. That's why he does lots of like the random sounds, the do, all that kind of stuff is just, and Dirty was a master at just being part of the song. He was an instrument. See? Now tell me about making this record right here. Underrated Wu Tang classic. Forgot about this intro version. You'll know where it's going. It was just on the album that it had this. I forgot about this.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm surprised this one's on my computer, but you'll know in a second.
You got me on this one so far. Oh, wow. Wow.
This raw coming
at your door.
Start to scream out loud. Wu Tang's
Back for more.
Yes, the hour's
Wow.
for. I told you before. Prepare for mic fight.
Man.
And plus the Cold War.
This rhyme you digest
I'm
through
gonna
the
tell you
RZA
something about this
console.
song right here.
XY slam non-diagram.
Only thing I can tell you about this song is everybody that's on this song right now, okay, we did our thing. But I remember Cappadonna.
I was about to say, this is going to be about Cappadonna, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember him coming to the studio, man. I was there when he did his verse. And he just went crazy, man.
Oh, I mean, you kept it.
Yeah, he just went crazy.
He does something like 128 or it's or 96 bars maybe.
He came right in, and that might have been one take.
It feels like it.
That might have been one take. I mean, no punches. He just came right in and just got right in the booth and just went crazy, man.
Did you know at the time this was for a soundtrack, or is this just a random? This is a song.
This was everybody still loving the art and the sport and going to Riz's house, going to the basement, man, and getting it in.
That's
you
it.
know? Just getting it in.
So when this ends up appearing on Don't Be a Menace,
Right.
it's just because they probably asked for a record and they're like, oh, here's a record.
Exactly. Exactly. No, we didn't have any. I mean, I didn't have any thought of any direction of where the record could go, but it was just about being there and doing what we love to do.
How in a lot of ways, my relationship with Wu Tang's music, as I'm guessing it is for a lot of people, is personal. And you don't, the records that you love,
Right.
you don't always have a realization of how other people feel about the record. With the exception of the hits. Oh, there we go.
Murderous suspect that fills more body bags than apartments and projects.
Yeah, that was like
And as far as the
one of the,
coroners know, the autopsy show was a Shaolin blow.
3 or 4 rhymes that I had.
Academy of the Wu and learned how to
Still
fuck up
learning
your
how to
anatomy
say 'em.
steadily, calm and deadly. Splatterhead lyrics I lick through your transmit. MC submit to the will as I kill your juvenile freestyle. Civilize the mental. Devils worship this like an icon. Bear hugging mics with the grips of a python. Yes,
See that line right there?
What's that? Let's go with that.
Bear hugging mics with bear hugging mics with the grips of a python. See, that's a Jizza line right there. He gave me that line.
Really? He
Yeah,
just fed that to you?
Yeah, he gave me that. See, because I was still constructing and learning how to put it together, and he might have told me to say that. You know.
That's dope. That's really dope. And and you said this was still the time when everyone would just show up to RZA's house and go. How long did that period last where even with the success you were starting to have,
Right.
the routine was still wake up, do whatever, blah, 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 and just
Right.
go to RZA's house?
Man, well, it was, between his house and then when we started going to, different studios in Manhattan or wherever we would be at, from Manhattan to, LA, wherever we was at. That was always the routine. RZA's the Abbott, you know what I mean, of the Wu. And man, all of the music came from him at that time. I mean, all the first classic albums came from RZA. So his house or his chamber was the place to be, to be a part of this movement that was just growing, man.
And was he always, for the first couple of years, was he usually in the lab?
Oh, you wouldn't have seen him because that's the only place he was at. He was in the basement, man. He was in the basement.
And would people, and I don't know, I could have asked him this, but while I have you here, we're talking about it. Would people like Rifkin and business people come to him because he'd always be there, or would he still go out some and meet with people, et cetera?
Yeah, well, I think when it came to handling business, sometimes he probably, had to walk some dogs, you know what I mean? But for the most part, when it came to the creativeness of what we were doing, I mean, he didn't come up for air, man. He stayed in the pocket, man. He was in the chamber, man.
So that record that we just played, Winter Wars, would you describe that as a very popular record? Like, where do you put that in the lexicon of records you guys play when you're out and things like that?
Oh, man, I mean...
Like, do people get excited when you play that, or do you guys not play it out?
Actually, when that record comes on, when we perform that record, nobody performs that record except Cappadonna.
Of course.
When Mathematics throws that on stage, everyone knows that that's Kappa's.
Oh, so he just plays it for him, and he
him.
just gets off his bars.
And that's it. That's it.
How unique an individual is Cappadonna?
Oh man, he's a great brother, man. Great brother.
He always seems like just a real interesting dude, man. Like
Right.
positive energy.
Definitely.
My first thing that I ever knew about Cappadonna, and I don't know him personally. I mean, we've met a couple times, but I don't know him. I got to get him up here. But Cap, when you guys first started popping, Cap was known because I guess there was a chick he had, and he would always be at Maryland, University of Maryland.
Okay.
And people, when you guys would play in D.C.,
Right.
I would hear just through the grapevine that people like, yo, Cappadonna's on campus. Like, he would be up there and just hanging out.
Right.
And he just seemed like a very regular dude. And then the stories came, he stayed in Maryland for a long time.
Okay.
And I think was driving a cab.
Okay.
Like, he's always done random things, but has always appeared to have this just warm energy that people gravitate towards, is what I've seemed to hear.
Right.
Would you say that's accurate in describing Cap?
I would say that. I would say that. As long as I've been knowing the brother, it's always been positive, man. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen him on anything negative. You know what I mean?
How often who do you speak to the most currently from Wu Tang?
It would be Jizza, because anytime we have a chance to play a game of chess, that's what we do. You know what I mean?
So y'all are just gonna be old man friends sitting around playing chess one day.
Yeah, definitely.
That's but who else? Do you speak to anyone else or no?
I mean, I speak to everyone. Everyone, definitely. everyone out of the person that I might speak to the least is Ghost because he's always missing.
That's
Ghost.
I mean?
But that's Ghost, you know what I mean? But everyone else I speak to, every so often, everyone is busy, doing what they do.
But yeah, Deanie, he does seem to, he has his own, he'll just pop up random. Like
Yeah.
I see him on the street. Like I saw Ghost at All-Star last weekend, just standing on the street.
Yeah, I don't even ask him for his phone number anymore. He gets a new phone like every week.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had a contact that's lasted very long on Deanie. So, you guys are, through that period, you appear on, more and more joints. You're on Jizz's album, on Liquid Swords. You're on Duel the Iron Mike, which is a classic. You're on Iron Man. Let me keep going. You appear on the Sons of Man album, the Killer Army album, the Law of the Dark Man album.
And all this time, I'm sharpening my skill. Like I'm learning more and more. Each album, I love my brothers, Wu Tang, because they allowed me to perfect my craft, you know what I mean, and study as well as get paid at the same time, you know what I mean, and it was a beautiful thing, a beautiful time, man. You know what I mean? And
you end up not dropping your solo album till much after. No Said Date doesn't come out. I mean, the name's appropriate. It doesn't drop. So why did it take until, 03 for No Said Date? No, June 1, 04.
Right.
Why did it take so long for No Said Date to drop?
I mean, being in an all-star cast family like Wu Tang, those brothers, were, like you said, rhyme books. They had rhyme books. They were ready. You know what I mean? This was their vision to do this. You know what I mean? I came with Jizza and was blessed to be a part of a movement and was able to, sharpen my skill to become, to that level of sword play, with this hip hop culture and this art, you know what I mean? And I wasn't ready before then. Like I said, all those other albums that I was on maybe once or twice, I'm still learning. I'm still sharpening my sword and, understanding, what it is to be in the studio. I mean, Mystery of Chess Boxing was the first time I was ever in a studio behind a microphone.
Learning that is so insane to me. Like that's also challenging too when your first thing you've ever done is a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that right there sets you up for an interesting run. And then also, how long were you on the road? How often were you on the road?
Oh man, we stayed on the road. We stayed going everywhere and stamping that flag, man. I mean, going everywhere, doing everything.
How did it work? A lot of people have wondered about this, and I think I saw in the interview that like Bootleg Kev talked to you guys about this, like how you guys would determine who got what on the road. You seem like a very laid back dude.
Right.
You don't necessarily seem like the dude who's demanding to get yours. You seem more like, and I don't know you well, but you seem more like the guy who just wants to keep building and be happy for the opportunities. How did you handle that? Did you always feel like you were well taken care of for what you were doing? How would you describe those early years from a financial standpoint in terms of how it worked out for Masta Killa?
Well, I was always good. I was always good. I mean, from a financial standpoint, none of us was making a lot of money. I mean, we were doing shows and, we was getting maybe $25, $50. It's 9, 10 of us that has to split maybe $1,000, $2,000, and we all have to get rooms and things of that nature. So, no one has a suite by itself. We're all sharing rooms. We're in 12-passenger vans. And we out here, man. You know what I mean?
Did you ever go and hype for anyone else when they were on a solo run or no? Like situations like that, like Ray's going out or Ghost is going, because you get to a certain point in the later 90s, when Ghost and Ray and Jizza, I'm guessing, start getting to the point of being $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 artists.
Right.
So did you ever just jump out with someone else to work specifically with them, or did you just do Wu Tang tours?
I mean, everybody was working. So I could catch a flight. I know Ray's in Chicago. I might catch a flight to Chicago, do a show with Ray. Never as a hype man because I had songs.
So you would just come out and do your joints.
Do my joints, and Jizza is in Texas. Oh, I'm leaving. I'm going to catch Jizza. You know what I mean? And then we have a Wu joint in Florida. I'm everywhere.
So looking back, at what point was it much later when like the festival money started being so big that it was actually a very valuable appearance?
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, when it started getting valuable, when it started seeing some paper to that degree, I think it might have been the Rage Against the Machine tour.
Okay.
That's when things started.
That's 98, I think.
Right.
So 5 years in.
Right.
On tours like that, you're now starting to everyone is actually making a nice little.
Yeah, you know, you got your own room now.
You got your own room now. You're able to stack a little something from
Right,
that.
right.
And then by the time you go 5 years forward from that, early 2000s, Rock the Bells, by that era, it's looking pretty good.
Well, listen, none of us in 25 years has had to go back to doing anything that we did before music,
That's pretty good.
which is a blessing.
And that's everybody.
Everyone.
Oh, the 9 of you guys,
Right.
everyone's been able to just stick with music.
Exactly.
So with varying degrees, I'm guessing, of how much they want to continue to do music.
Right.
But everyone's done well.
Definitely.
And have the best years been like the last 10 years?
I mean, it's hard to say what's the best years when we're still here.
Right. Yeah, that's
You
a
know
good
what I
point.
mean? You know, we're still blessed to still be relevant to be here. I'm still here kicking it with you.
And every couple of years, you know that a festival run's going to come up.
Right.
Or, you know, you guys still get out in front of 50,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that honestly, one of the great stories about Wu Tang that's not talked about enough is how overall how well you guys do get along, considering how many personalities there are.
Yeah.
We hear about it's great. I actually enjoy the Wu Tang spats that happen because they're so light. It's so they're like every time it's like RZA says blah blah blah, but Raekwon says blah. But then 5 minutes later, they're working on the joint together.
Exactly. I mean, no one has did anything to cross the line past the point of no return.
Never. That's never happened.
Nah.
How difficult was the period around when Dirty passed for you guys?
Oh man, I mean, that was terrible time. You know, that's one of the founding members. You know what I mean? That's also my brother, man, you know, and that's an unreplaceable energy. You know what I mean? That's, you know, losing Dirty, man, was like you know, if you know something about the game of chess, that's like losing 2 rooks on the board, man. You know what I mean? That's like I said, you know, very difficult to still win. Possible, but very difficult.
Do you think it impacted the ability for you guys to consistently get together and do studio albums and things of that nature as a unit? Do you think losing him had that impact?
Losing him, you know, had an impact on everything. You know what I mean? I actually, you know, it was, you know, in any relationship, keeping it together is not easy.
Especially after the passing of someone.
Yeah, not easy. You know what I mean? I mean, in any relationship, you know.
Parents get, when God forbid when parents lose children, which is of course the hardest death you can deal with.
Yes.
A lot of parents can't stay together.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of relationships change. Siblings fall apart when people pass away because of the level of impact it can have.
Correct. And you know, like I said, his energy, it brought so much. You know what I mean? So he will always be missed. You know what I mean? Greatly. You know what I mean?
Tell us about Loyalty is Royalty. The album came out last week. People can go on iTunes and cop it. I'm guessing they can go on Spotify and
yes.
Apple and Tidal and all things like that and get it as well. But it's your 4th studio album. It's out on Nature Sounds, who you've been with since the very beginning.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Nature Sounds.
Devin, my man.
Devin's a good dude.
No question.
And you got Ninth Wonder, P.F. Cuttin, Dane Grease, RZA, True Master. You're on the boards. My man Illmind's on here.
No question.
So tell a little bit about this album and how you feel about it, how proud of it you are.
I'm very proud of this album. You know what I mean? I think I'm still you know, evolving, like, you know, as far as, you know, music is concerned, like, you know, I have a certain passion for it right now that, you know, like I'm discovering something else about it right now. I don't know, I don't even know what it is, but you know, I love it, man. You know what I mean? And to still be here, like I said, to still be relevant, and to kind of feel the climate of the music that's out today, and I want to fill the void of kind of what's missing. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to do it still. You know what I mean? I don't care what nobody else is doing. I don't have to follow that. You know, I don't have to try to make a name.
Well, that's the beauty of being part of the greatest collective of all time. There's always going to be people who just want to be like, what are these Wu Tang guys doing right now? Let me hear what Masta Killa's up to.
Right. And
let me hear bars.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. And you know, like I said, I'm proud to still be able to still, you know, give, you know, true hip hop fans something that they might have been craving for a little while.
How do you like some of the things that are going on today in music?
Yeah, I do. Like, you know, J. Cole's, Kendrick. You know, I like Drake. I like Meek Mills. You know what I mean? You know, it's a lot of brothers out there that I like. You know what I mean?
There is so consistently, I'm sure you meet people who are, tell me if this is a regular conversation. Maybe it's not.
Right.
It is for me. How often do people of your generation, and you're in your 40s, come up to you and give you the spiel of like, man, everything today's whack. I just miss Wu Tang. And while you appreciate the compliment, you're like, everything's not whack. You know what I'm saying? There's actually good stuff out here.
Yeah, it's definitely it, man. First of all, there's so much music out there right now, man.
Bruh.
You can't even keep up with it.
I know, that's
You know
the
what I
funny
mean?
thing, too. When people tell you that, it's like, are you really listening to everything?
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
go on the iTunes rap section and try to get through what's there.
You won't. You won't. Because tomorrow, there will be another 100, 200 songs there. You will never, I mean, there's so many great MCs. There's so many great, you know, people out there putting out great music right now. It's just, it's so much music. You know what I mean? You know, so not all of this music that the young brothers and sisters are making today is bad. I won't say that.
So on the front page, which you're on, there's the new A Boogie with the hoodie. There's Ritz, who's a dope MC. There's a new Kevin Gates project. There's a new G Herbo project that people really like. The Rhapsody's album. Shout out to Ninth and those guys. It's phenomenal. Rhapsody's album is special.
Right.
There's the Masta Killa album. DJ K Slay has a new compilation with everyone on it. This is literally me just reading randomly. The Cool Kids dropped a new project. My man Dougie F has a project.
Wow.
Chief Keef has a new project. If that's more your zone. Wyclef just put out Carnival 3. That's up there.
I see that. Yeah.
Apathy and OC, if you want that classic producer MC. Underrated rapper who I didn't know had a project. Gunplay has a new project out. I'm a Gunplay fan. Shout out to the DJ. Austin Mills has an EP out. Young Thug put out a project.
I think my man Rusty Jux might have a new project.
Oh,
out.
really?
Yeah, he might have something out as well. You know what I mean?
Macklemore dropped a new project. Smoke Perp, who's dope, put out a new project.
Right.
I know my man Aguila just put out new music. So it's just like from literally the stuff you grew up to the newest to artists you always like. There's constantly music. So I always encourage people to just
listen
before you say everything's trash today.
Listen,
and also remember, like that the amount of Wu Tang records, songs that ended up in heavy rotation are not nearly as many as people believe in their memory.
Right.
They look back and are like, man, remember when y'all were on the radio every 5 minutes? It wasn't really. There was Ice Cream. There was I'll Be There For You.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Protect Your Neck in the very early days of Hot 97.
Right.
But by the time Hot 97 became a viable business, you were not hearing Triumph the Triumph's a bad example because y'all were so huge at that point.
Right.
But by and large, you would agree, right? Like It's Yours wasn't playing nonstop.
No.
It wasn't. You were just, y'all had the streets.
Right.
You know, and it resulted in this amazing cultural thing where you guys became like a Led Zeppelin or a Beatles.
Right.
You know, you have became an international thing where that logo will sell forever.
Right. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, when did it really get in your head? Was it the first trip to Japan, which they documented in the movie, The Show, I think?
Right.
When was it when you looked around and were like, guys, we're not just like the other rappers that are out. Like, this Wu Tang thing is like, people will tattoo this and keep it forever. Like, this is something iconic. When did that make it to your brain that you realized that?
I still don't really look at it like that.
Really?
I still don't look at it like that. I think if you look at yourself like, okay, I'm on top, then there's no room to grow. There's nothing else to do. I try to always leave a little room for improvement, a little room for, to elevate. You know what I mean? So, and when you're in it, you don't see it the same as a person outside looking at you because you're in it. You know what I mean? So
you have to deal with the BS, everything that comes with it, besides just the glory of getting to be like, well, I am in. You might have heard of the rap group I'm in. Well, because the thing is, you're obviously a guy who can walk down the street on a given day and not get recognized.
Right, definitely.
So you can have. Tell me about a conversation when you meet a stranger. And you're like, yeah, I do music. And then when you tell them, have you ever had that happen? Where you have to tell someone, I'm actually in Wu Tang Clan. And they're like, excuse me?
Well, I never flash my badge.
Never?
I don't flash my badge.
But what if someone's prying? What if you're at the airport, right? Just sipping a drink at the bar.
Right.
And there's a businessman next to you who just strikes up a conversation.
I'm going to tell you, most people, when they run into me, they think I'm Ghost.
Really?
I get that most of the time.
You're only wearing one sweatshirt. That's impossible.
Most of the time when people see me, when they do act like they're trying to figure it out, when they come, it's your ghost face, right?
So how do you handle that? Because I get this is even crazier. I get your Ebro a lot. So how do you handle when you get that? Because they mean it as a compliment.
Right.
But it would also be nice if they got your name right. At least that's how it feels.
Right.
How do you handle it when they say that?
I laugh, and I'll be like, nah, I'm Master. And, oh, yeah, so many of you, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And it's all cool, man. You know what I mean?
So you've never once had to drop on someone, yeah, I'm in music. They're like, oh, really? You do music? You don't say. I don't really follow very much what's going on. Yeah, I was in a rap group. Oh, yeah, I like some rap. Well, what group?
Right.
I'm actually, I don't know how to say this. I'm in Wu Tang.
Right.
And they're like, oh, my God, I've heard of them. Like, you've never had that experience? Because I would love to do that to people.
Nah, because that's not really my approach.
It doesn't seem like your style.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's not really my approach to things because at the end of the day, I come from a lot of realness, so, and like I said, even from being young and being able to take a trip to Florida. But when I come back to Brooklyn, most of my friends didn't get to go to Disney World.
Wow.
So what am I really talking about with them? And I understood the difference between being blessed to do something and being able to say, okay, well, nah, you don't come back and rub that in people's faces. And it's like, okay, I'm Masta Killa from Wu Tang. I do that. That's what I do. But at the same time, who cares? You know what I mean? If that's recognized, that's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? But I don't wear that like that. You know what I mean? It's like because everybody is real people.
And I guess you can, from a career standpoint, you can always look at. There are two ways you could have handled things. You could rest on your laurels and be like, I was in Wu Tang. I am in Wu Tang. We had an amazing run and we'll always be able to make money.
Right.
Or you can also look at it as I'm Masta Killa, the solo artist, and I want to keep growing. I want to keep making great music.
Definitely.
Get more response, reach more audience as me.
Right.
So you can have your own individual challenges as opposed to sitting back. Some people could have sat back, and I have no idea if there are members who were like that.
Right.
And we're just kind of like, psh, I did Wu-Tang. Bring me a check. And they're people handle things different ways.
Right.
But you have a very modest way of handling it.
Yeah. I mean.
Well, I'm here to tell you right now, Masta Killa, that y'all reached something that no one knew was possible. We haven't seen it again. We've seen some great things that have been allowed to happen because of it. Like the ASAP Mob is a great.
Definitely.
I love those kids.
See, that's another, Ferg and them, it's like I said, it's so many people.
Yo, and they, man, ASAP, they are like their own mini Wu Tang. If you were to listen to the new Mob album or the new Ferg album, I'm telling you right now, even if you're someone who doesn't regularly listen to new hip hop, you'd be like, yo, this sounds like the classics.
Right. I mean, this is what I'm saying, man.
12 album too is great.
It's so many, man, so many, and I can take a page from, you know, most of their, you know, I might not rock with everything, but some things, I can mess with that. I like that. You know what I mean?
Masta Killa, it's been a pleasure. I have endless things to ask you, but apparently we have another guest here, and our fire alarm's going off for no reason.
No doubt.
Loyalty is royalty.
Yes, sir.
Is out right now. Go cop it. I'll leave you guys right now with the single so I can give you guys a little taste of it, and then you can go out and cop the album. This joint right here is called Therapy.
Therapy. Gotta have it.
I really appreciate you spending some time, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me, brother.
Masta Killa, Wu Tang's in the building. Top 97.
Sir.
Yo, I gotta be around this music, it's therapeutic. The first fresh thoughts of the day are so clear. When I walk in my head, there's a voice that talks. In my ear, I can hear so clear. You think I'm bugging, right? I'm just contemplating this side and how to flow this. Out to the west side, my Killer Cali gangsters ride and get their head right. Yo, son, I'm on the next flight in. Twist something tight, I'm guaranteed to write a hit song before we reach. Throw the instrumental on and watch the word pattern of speech. Men form, military arm, ready to swarm. Get your party on, drinks is on the house tonight. Ladies looking right, atmosphere nice and warm. We backstage like 100 deep strong. Ghosts want the red light on before we get on. An hour's too short to rock. We got a million songs.
Oh yeah, this real nice right here, Kill.
Oh yeah,
I'm feeling this one right here.
yeah, okay.
So it's my turn to sit in the chair.
Indeed, my brother.
All right, let's go. Yo, I gotta be around this music, it's therapeutic. Like my first of the day to start the movement. I'm sitting in the room with a view, there's always room for improvement. So I grab my coat and go and prove it. Just me against the world, you can find me in the streets. You don't spot me in the lobby, probably find me in the free cop Ferraris. The lobby in the lining of my seats, trying to put me in the lineup till I wind up in the beast. That's the belly. How dare they try to tell me when to eat? With a plate of food barely in my reach. My team shoot dice. We used to shoot skelly in the streets, wear the same bellies for a week. But now we live the life. It's such a good life, I wish that I could live it twice. I'll probably make the same with my wife. It's Wu Tang Clan, always collect cheddar. Proper education, always correct errors. Yeah.
Killer House in the building. You already.
Hey, yo, peace to my brothers from now, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Good looking.
Yo, bananas, red man, so gorilla. Shot town, no, I'm pimping the mic. One hit and chicks follow me like Twitter. When I talk, I like the mic stem up. The fiends hit it, chicks swing with it. I box in like Don King did it. 16s I write, it seems so vivid. My notebooks, I'm letting eBay bid it. I get dough, bad pan for the sick flow. My weed more greener than Lou Ferrigno. My right hand man, hand on the. I crack these squares up like Nabisco. Oh, look at me, I'm lightweight, but with the heart to peel back your white meat. Your wifey want me to make her wifey hit it. Make the hyphy a high speed. Doc.